Good morning, children. Once again, welcome back to the online classes for 9th standard. As I am taking English subject for 9th standard through online. So, today we are going to discuss about or to know about one lesson that is in supplementary reading. The lesson name is The Happy Cure. So, if you read this lesson, so actually this is one of the story, means here we can see this story which makes the people to think not to be lazy in their life. So as this The Happy Cure, which was written by Rose Dobbs. So in this lesson it is highlighted that if the man feels lazy all the time, so further he is not going to take up any better steps in his lifetime. So as this lesson, The Happy Cure, which is one of the funniest story ever heard by us. So now moving towards the lesson. Once there was a king, so who was laying on his bed in the palace. So means almost if you see the scene, means maybe he is going to die within half an hour or 1 hour. Like that the scene is created like that. And as this king was feeling himself that he is not feeling good. And as the last words, means if anyone is dying because of any long disease, so in their last words, means maybe in 1 hour or 2 hours or half an hour they may die. So before that they used to tell some important messages or important things to their family members. So like that here the king wants to tell something as he is feeling that the death is on his doorstep only. Means it is no longer that he is going to die. But the matter was not that. So here the king was suffering from no disease, but the internal feeling he is having that he is not good. As I am going to die, as I am having this type of disease, or I may get this type of disease in future. Like that he is feeling himself and he made himself as a sick person. And every time he is lying on the bed as the sick persons will lie. Means almost as we can see in every families there will be one or the other person's sick, means there will be made to lie on the bed only. So here if that person is not feeling well and he can't even move his hands and legs, so then only we can do service to that person and make him to get well soon. Not making him to be like that lifelong. So like here some patients are there like paralysis patients and heart stroke patients. They can't even make their limbs to move. So such people are there. But here if you see the position of the king is very healthy. But he is admitting himself that he is not feeling well. And every time means he is groaned and moan, means as we'll make one sound as if we are not feeling well, abba, amma, like that will make some sort of sound, so to express our pain. So means if you see any feverish person, means he will be making some sort of sounds, abba, amma, I can't get up, I can't eat. So like that here this type of activities are done by this king. And he started to give out the messages to his ministers. So to call out the physicians and the surgeons and let me take the treatment. So like that here he has sent his ministers. And as the word of the king, the ministers went here and there far away and they started to gather the physicians. But here every physician and the surgeon they'll come and check the pulse, they'll check the heart of the king and they'll say nothing wrong. The king is perfectly all right. But what is the matter? We don't know why he is making himself like this. There is nothing wrong. Is to give the report. And here when physicians and surgeons try to give their treatment, here he'll blame that these physicians and surgeons, they don't know anything about my disease. So aren't there any other doctors, plain doctors, who can take my case and give me proper treatment? So like that, once again he'll make one Dandora type, and he'll call out, means ministers and all servants, they'll go here and there and they'll started to gather the doctors. Like everyone, after checking and beating on the heart of the king and checking his pulse and checking the whole body, and after that he'll some doctors, they'll remove the spectacles and they'll say, nothing to worry, the king is perfectly all right, no wrong diseases or nothing wrong, we could not find anything wrong in king's health issues, like that they'll tell. But here, after giving the report of these doctors, here again the king will say, these doctors, ordinary doctors, are idiots. And he'll say, well, next time whoever comes to examine me, and if anyone tells that no, nothing wrong with the king, means I am going to cut their ears and nose. Here, by hearing this, here we can see some doctors who are approaching towards the king to check him, but here they'll stop coming. Why? Means why to take a risk in facing the king's health issues, and why we ourselves should cut our ears and nose in the king's hands. Like this, here the doctors will disobey, means they won't come, as they'll move here and there to hide themselves. Not only that, here the people in that kingdom were waiting as why this is happening, why the if any doctor comes without ears and nose, so here it is going to be like awkward. So like this, here the people one side are feeling means what happened to our king, and one side the king, he himself is feeling that he is not having proper health. So finally, one simple old woman, so she'll come to see the king, and she started to check the king, and as she approaches towards the royal bed chamber, and there the woman will say, so king, oh majesty, you are suffering from a strange and rare disease. Means that woman, as we can see some grannies in our house, so if unexpectedly, if anyone is feeling fear, or anyone is not starting to making themselves to mingle with others, like that, here what has happened to them, the grannies will come to know. So here this old woman also, she came to know that nothing happened to this king, so better to give one general treatment. So here if she say no disease, means again she has to face what the doctors has faced. So thinking in that way, she started to tell the king, so yeah majesty, you are suffering from a strange and rare disease, and so rare and strange that there is no name for this disease, like that she'll tell. So after hearing that old woman's words, the king replies, I knew it. So the king cried and said, so I was telling again and again to that ministers and all my family members that I am a sick man, but no one is ready to give a proper response to me. So here, so you are a very sick man, said the old woman. And here the king started to ask, and whether is there any any treatment for this, means as she is supposed to give the treatment, when the woman said, so better to take rest. So by hearing that, the king moved towards the pillow on his bed, and he'll make his face like joining his eyebrows close together, and he started to as he was in full pain, means if anyone comes in contact or comes in means as he was passing through a depression, or if that person is having more pain, like that he is feeling himself, he is absolutely fine, but he is feeling, inner feeling, means this king is not having any work to do, and he is not at all worried about the kingdom and the palace and the people. And here, as he is feeling like that, keeping his face closed his eyes and started to make himself as he was in very much pain. And is there any cure? He asked the old woman. So for that the old woman will say, oh yes, your majesty, you need a sleep. So here, what type of sleep means? One night. So you must wear the shirt of a happy man. So after that instantly you are going to get rid of your disease. So here, this is the only treatment you can apply for your disease. So telling that the woman will return back to her place. So here the king summoned, means he'll make one dandora and he'll send his captain and other guards and bravest soldiers and the best courtiers in the land and the messengers to send and to get the person who is very happy in the kingdom, and the king wants his shirt to be worn. And start off at once, all commanders and all the soldiers and the courtiers all move, and they'll travel from east to west and north to south, but no one in the kingdom was happy. But here, as the humans, will be having one or the other problems in our mind, and we will never be happy. And they sent long reports to the king, and this is what they said. So what that courtiers, the ministers and the soldiers, what they said and what they have sent in the report is, the people in the east and might be happy if the majesty, if the king don't tax them heavily. Means the people of in the south are not at all happy because the king is taking more tax on the work they are doing, like on agriculture and other works. And if the soldiers move towards the west, so they might be happy if the work will be shortened, means that there the people are doing more and more work for long time, and that too hard work they are doing. And there is a little time for them to enjoy singing and dancing. So by this, here we can see the east people are not happy because of heavy tax, and the west people are not happy because of long and hard work. And if the soldiers move towards the north, so here the people might be happy if the king makes himself to feel himself interested and try to mingle with them. So here the north people are not happy because the king is not at all coming to them and not at all asking any type of or not at all sort outing any type of problems of the kingdom people. And the people in the south, so they too will feel happy if the majesty of the king notices, and as these people are very faithful and they are doing very hard work, the king should appreciate their work and reward them. So then only the people can be happy. Means from north to south and east to west, no one are happy in the king's kingdom. And here when the king came to know that all these reports, and he started to flung them, means so he throwed all that reports, and he said no one in the kingdom is happy, and no one is happy in this world. So like that, here he chose to some other people so that they can get this type of people towards the king and make the king to be cured. So here one day one stable boy, a little stable boy approached a stranger. So here you can see that stable boy, little stable boy, so was happily singing, as the approach only shows that he is the happiest person. So, good afternoon, he said politely. So here that courtier will ask, what makes you to sing happily? So merrily you are singing, and I think you are feeling very happy. So when the courtier asked that boy, and he said, I sing from joy. Means whenever we feel much happy, and when our if any one problems goes from our mind and we feel to enjoy ourselves, so that time we will start to sing. So here that the boy is singing very merrily, and here he'll ask, what makes you sing? Means I sing from joy, said the stranger. So I love my fellow man, and I own little, but I am not in a desire of having more and more. So that's why I am a happy man, and I'll go on singing like this. So here the happy man cried the little stable boy, oh, do you want to know then what the whole kingdom is looking for you? So here when that courtier takes that person, that boy towards the king or the majesty. So here when he comes to see the king, so there he'll tell what makes you to feel very happy. Means so here do you see that you don't know the king is very ill, and only the treatment is he can sleep in one night in the shirt of a happy man. So as my courtiers found that you are the happy man, so quick, be quick and take off your shirt and give it to me. Like that the king will ask. Means here the position of the king is as he is having a royal clothes to wear. But what he is asking that stable boy to remove his shirt and give it to the king. So by hearing this word from the king, so the boy and the man, so that man he started to laugh loudly, and my shirt. So he grasped, means he asked in a funny way. So you want my shirt to be worn by you. So as this shows that, and as that here we can see the word only made that man to feel so laugh, and he started to laugh and he started to jump on his feet, and he started to make himself as means I never expected that the king wants my shirt to be worn, as this is the funny thing I am feeling in my life, like that he will sell. And here we can see he is moving towards the guards and the prime minister, and stepped right into the royal bed chamber, and he said, what we have here, so for what purpose you have sent here is you have to give away your shirt. So but here the little boy had to wait to recover his breath, means as he was laughing for a long time. So here the boy said, adjusting his breath, and he can't even talk in front of the king, and after making himself to making comfortable to talk, here he'll tell to the king that, oh, your majesty, he said, the cure was right here all the time. So right at hand, right on the palace grounds. Means you are very healthy, but your illness is towards around your palace, around your kingdom. So I found him, he said, as you can see, this stable man, he loves his fellow men. So he is taking interest those who are in need. So here when you make up your mind and when you start to approach towards the kingdom people and make them to come towards you and make out their problems to be sought out. So here the king felt very bad and he felt ashamed of himself and oh, maybe all these years, so I have left away all my precious times only feeling that I am not feeling good, means as I don't have any work in my hand. So as by hearing this, when the king realized that if a lazy man doesn't have work, so like this here, as the idle man is devil's house will tell, or the one proverb is there, that according to that, if the person is not having any work, so he might be having so many silly thoughts in his mind. So in that sequence only the king was in the same situation. So here as he felt and realized, and after here realization, here the king never thought to feel ill, and once again he came towards the kingdom and the people and he became so busy, and as you can see, he started to live a ripe old age, means when the time comes after our old age only, or if anything naturally happens, then only we will feel ill, otherwise we will be fit and fine when we are happy. So here the happiness, when we have happiness in our mind and soul. So how you will get the happiness in mind and soul, means when you love your fellows, when you love your friends and family members and try to sort out the problems those who are facing and try to give your precious suggestions to them so that they can get a better solution with that problems. So here that only it is going to give us happiness. So when the opposite person is happy because of you, so it is enough in your lifetime, that the happiness will be in our mind, in our soul. When our soul is happy, and that happiness will be shown on our face. So by this lesson gives us the message that we should be happy, we should feel ourselves happy and make others to feel happy. Not every time giving problem to the teachers, problem to the parents and problem to the society. So when you come out with your pickle ideas and make yourself to be targeted towards your goal and try to approach it with full effort, then only you are going to be a successful man or the king of this world. So by this we will come to the end of this supplementary reading, and try to read the question, read the lesson once again and try to find out if any words are there. Those words will give you more and more information about the words gathered in the dictionaries, and by this here the supplementary reader will end. So try to write the notes up to date, and recently we are going to within 1 or 10 days we are going to ask to submit your notes. So till then be up to date and try to read out all the question and answers given in the notes. Thank you.